Hey, welcome back to Brighter Rays this week. Looking at the introduction to the book of Colossians. Today we're looking at the recipients of the letter. And it went to the cities of Colossae and Laodicea. So if you think that the letter was written to the Colossians, you're correct. In chapter 1-2 we read, "To the saints and faithful brothers in Christ at Colossae." But we also know where the letter was to travel to after being received at Colossae. In 4:16 we read, "When this letter has been read among you, have it also read in the church of the Laodiceans." In Colossae, Laodicea, and Hierapolis, which is mentioned in 4:13, were three cities that were fairly close to one another. Laodicea was only 10 miles from Colossae, while Hierapolis was about 13 miles. These cities were located in the Roman province of Asia, which is an area included in the modern-day country of Turkey. The area was also known as Phrygia. This is the same area the seven churches of Revelation reside, with Laodicea specifically mentioned there. Colossae and Laodicea were at one point large populous cities and very wealthy. Over time, however, Colossae began to decline, which people attribute to earthquakes and a change in the road system in the area, so they kind of got bypassed. By the time of Paul's writing, Colossae had diminished to nothing but a small market town. Lightfoot commented that the Colossian church was the least important to which any epistle of Paul is addressed. Laodicea would continue to thrive as a wealthy and opulent city. So Colossae was like one of those towns on Route 66 that once the highway came in, they bypassed all these towns, and then they were pretty much nothing. So that's kind of where Colossae ended up. So unlike other churches, the church of Colossae is not mentioned in the book of Acts. We have no record of when or by whom the church was founded. There are some speculations, but that's all we really have. We can't know for certain. Some say that Paul founded the church when he went and preached in the cities of Phrygia. He was at Laodicea. Though it is not mentioned, some assume that Paul could have stopped there when he preached at Laodicea. Those that push back against Paul found Paul's founding of the church is Colossians 2:1, where Paul says, "All who have not seen me face to face," which seems to imply that they did not meet Paul in person. All we know about the church is from what we can gather from this letter and from the book of Philemon. From both books, it is apparent that a man named Epaphras was important in the church and to Paul. Some suggest that he was the one that founded the church, perhaps with others that met Paul when he was in Laodicea. So that's the idea, that Paul was at Laodicea and he was preaching there, and some people, maybe Epaphras went to go see. He was converted and then went back to Colossae and helped found the church. Maybe some other people did too. But was Paul there or not? We can't tell for sure. So there is some question because of what he says about how, we have heard about your faith. We have, not everyone has seen him face to face. So it doesn't mean that everyone was there when the church was first founded. Paul founded it. There obviously were adding other people, but so not everyone had to see him face to face if he was actually there. But that does draw into question whether he actually went to Colossae. It's not a big city. It's just kind of a market town. So maybe he didn't actually go there and other people founded that church. So it's possible. Again, it's speculation because it doesn't actually say if someone founded it, who founded it, or who was the first Christian in Colossae. We don't know. But we know Epaphras was important. He was mentioned several times by Paul, so it, lends to the idea that maybe Epaphras was the guy who went back and said, "Hey, let me tell you about what I heard from Apostle Paul," and shared that with them. So, but that's the cities, the city of Colossae and Laodicea. This is where this letter is going to. First to Colossae, and then to the larger city of Laodicea. Definitely went to them, and then from there, went everywhere else. So that's the recipients. Come back next time. We'll talk about the author of this book.